Hello and welcome to this session. In this section, we will be working on data types, JavaScript data types. What are JavaScript data types? In programming and also in JavaScript, data types is the classification that specifies which type of value a variable has. Is a classification that specifies which type of value a variable has. Also, JavaScript variables can hold different data types. JavaScript variable can hold different data types. So we're going to be working on data types in the course of this session. So basically, every expression, every variable, every declared variable, every expression that we're going to be working on JavaScript has a data type assigned to it. There is a data type assigned to the value. Every value that you are assigning to a variable, there is a data type given to each one of those values. That is all what we are going to be doing in the course of this session. So firstly, let's come down here and open a new file. So we have data type .js. So we're going to open a new file. So we have 7 data types we're going to be working on. So firstly, we're going to be working on the string data type. The string data type is a sequence of text enclosed in a quote. A sequence of text enclosed in a quote. So either a single quote or a double quote. So let's put something here. My colors. So we have the semicolon. We have red. Put a semicolon at the end of the expression. So let's come down to our index file and change what we have there. So let's put data types.js. Okay, then go back to your the data type file. So what we have here is let's my color. We have red assigned to the variable. So let's use console.log. Now we're going to be using a type of function. Now this type of function, we use this to return the data type name of that particular variable. So it's a function used to return the type of the variable. So we have my color. Okay, so if you look down here, we see that my color, the data type for this is a string. Okay, just what we have when I was explaining this. So it's a string. So whether it's a single quote or a double quote, as far as there is a quote surrounding the text in the front and the ending, so that gives it the data type of a string. So we have it here. So that's a string. Now the second data type we're going to be working on is number. Now the number is a numeric value. So we have let x, we assign the value 10 to it. Put a semicolon there. So just say okay, then I'll come down here and okay, so type of x, what do we have here? Yep, so it's a number. Okay, so that's a number. So we have the second data type that we have in JavaScript is a number. Now the third one we're going to be working on in the course of this session is a boolean. Now when we say boolean, it classifies, we're giving it's either a true or a false value. Okay, classification of the value of either a true or a false. So it classifies the value either true or false. So we have the boolean. So let's say let bool, let's just give the variable bool. So we have true. Another thing you need to know is that it doesn't has a quote enclosed on it, so there's no need for a semicolon, sorry, a quote, just like we have in the string. The string has a double quote here, but using the number doesn't have any quote, so you just give it the value 10. Also with the boolean doesn't have a quote and surrounding it, whether single or double quote, doesn't have any quote surrounding it. So I'm going to get the type of this the same way we did it, so we're just gonna use bool. Okay, type of bool. Oh, sorry, let me close this up. So this will give us a boolean. So what do you have there? A boolean. So that's the data type of this. So whether it's a true, or let's change this to false, so still gives us the data type boolean. Okay, so basically the boolean is just the classification of the value either true or false. So the value is either true or false. Now an array, the fourth one is an array. So let's say my cars. Okay, now the array is a variable that can store multiple values. So if you look at the variable that we have right here, my color can store only one value. The one we have here can store one value. So every single variable we have here can store only one value. So what if you have multiple values that you want to store in one single variable? Like you have 10 values, you have 50 values, you have 100 values. How do you do that? You introduce the array. So array can store multiple values in one single variable. So what we have here, let's just store quite some values. Yeah, so I have Benz, I have Toyota, and lastly I have BMW. Oh, I so much love that car. I don't know if you love that car also. All right, so we have Benz, Toyota, and BMW. Now let's check. Okay, now to assess the values that we have assigned to this variable, my cars, you're going to use what we call an index value. So in every single one of these values here has what we call an index value, and it's that index value that you are going to be using to assess every value that you have assigned to that variable. Now we have console.log, we have my cars, square brackets, now put 0 there. Now the index value starts from 0. Now the 0 is for the first value, Benz. If I change this to 1, it changes it to the second value, Toyota. So that's how it's gonna be. You're gonna be using it on and on to the final value. Now if you look what we have here, every value is separated with a comma. So Benz is separated from Toyota by using a comma. Toyota is separated from BMW by using a comma, and the closing of the expression, we have a semicolon at the end of this expression. So that's it. That's all you need to know about the array. Now let's move on to objects. The next data type we're going to be working on is objects. Now I need you to know something very important, that everything in JavaScript is an object. Everything in JavaScript is an object. So how does this object works? An object has what we call a property and also has what we call a value. Now we have let person. How do we get this object? So you put a curly brace. We call this a curly brace. Now I have a first name, so this is the property. Then I have David, comma, next property, let me give this age 10. Okay, now if you look here, we have opening curly brace and we have a closing curly brace. Now first name here is the property, then David here is the value, so we use a comma to separate it from the second property, which is age, and we have the value 10 to it. So very importantly, there must be a colon separating the value from the property. So this is all what we we mean by the object. Everything in JavaScript is an object. Okay, so how do we access this? So just come here, we have console.log, and then we just check this out. We use person as the variable name, and then what they give us, it gives us what we have here. We have the first name David, we have the age 10. If I click down it here, you will see that it has what we call object here. So we have the object, so that's it. So everything we have in JavaScript is an object. So objects classifies is classified into properties and value. So that's all you need to know about the object data type. So next we have is null, N-U-L-L. So the null data type is when we talk about the null, is something that something that does not exist. Okay, so maybe a kind of a variable that you declare a variable, and you want to empty the value in the variable. That's when you use the null data type. You use the null data type to empty a particular variable. You want to empty the value in that particular variable, you use the null data type. And another thing you need to know, that the null data type is also an object. Very important for you to know that. Now we come down here, we have let's use what we have here. So x, we have 10 assigned to x. I will just say x, I will assign null to it, put a semicolon at the end. So what do I do here? Come down here, I have console.log, then x. So what is x current situation now? X current situation now is a null. Okay, so it's null. So what we mean by that is that the value that was initially assigned to x is now null. It's now empty. Okay, so it's now empty, so there is nothing on the variable x. Now there is nothing there. Initially it used to have the value 10, but right now there is no more value in the variable x. It's now having the null data type. Now that's it about that. Now let's move on to the last data type we have for this section. The last data type is the undefined. So variables declared without a value. So in case you declare a particular variable and you refuse to assign a value to it, that makes it undefined. So it's a data type. So for example, you have let's switch, put a semicolon at the end. So we come down here, we have console.log, so switch. Okay, so let's look down here. Okay, so this makes it undefined. Okay, so any variable that you declare and there is no value assigned to that variable, it makes that variable undefined, and it's a data type. Okay, so that's a data type. So every single one of the values that we have rooted here has a data type assigned to it. So there is, it all has it, every one value that we have that we have on this particular declared variables that we have here, they're all stored in one data type or the other, just the way we have seen right here in this session. So we have 7 data types. We have the string, we have the number, we have the boolean, we have the array, we have objects, we have null, and we have undefined. So we are going to be using every single one of these data type in the course of this course. In one way or the other, in our previous sessions, we have been seeing two of these data types that we have declared and assigned here. So in the more of the sections we have to come, we are going to be seeing more of these data types that we have stated here. So thank you. I believe you've learned something about data types in this session. In our next session, we are going to be working more on this particular with this particular data types that we have here. Thank you, and see you in our next session.